Wes thu min Freyon and welcome to another video. Eru ilu vatar bless HarperCollins UK. Eru ilu vatar bless Waterstones. You know that just a couple of days ago, yet another atrocity was announced. A tie-in cover for the collected edition of The Lord of the Rings that depicts an artwork that was supposed to be concept art for The Rings of Power by Amazon, and fans all together all over the internet despise the idea of The Rings of Power being labelled on such a tremendous work of art as The Lord of the Rings. Even earlier, the 3 individual editions were announced, and they are out now for somebody, I don't know who, to buy. Covers featuring characters that shouldn't be on the covers in the first place. Adar, an Amazon's original character who has never existed and does not exist in the mind of a Tolkien fan. Galadriel in her Second Age armor, and Elrond in his, Second Age version, apparently. None of it is Second Age, really. None of it is Tolkien, because it's all Amazon's bullcrap. And of course, if you want to go into depth, you have to say, alright, but The Lord of the Rings itself is really based in the Third Age of Middle-earth. Whereas thousands of years after the events of The Rings of Power. And the cover, I always have thought, that the cover should reflect the insides of a book, the actual content. Now it seems that HarperCollins UK want to please the true fans and normal and sane people all over the world, and are releasing Waterstones and exclusive covers, and editions indeed, of the 3 individual Lord of the Rings books, and we shall look at them. They all look the same, only they are, of course, the individual different parts of the Lord of the Rings. This is the Fellowship of the Ring. And if we look at the picture here, these are paperbacks, but the pages, the trims of the pages are beautifully painted in red. The cover is an homage to the original cover of one of the first editions of The Lord of the Rings as it came out. And there you can see J.R.R. Tolkien's signature printed on it. On the inside, you can see a map of Middle-earth. And what is the most important of all things, my dear, dear friends, it contains The Lord of the Rings. That which is the most important for all of us. We should not care about Amazon. We should not care about their socio-political agendas that they are trying to cram into Tolkien's world. And let us read the synopsis. We know what The Lord of the Rings is about, but we really care about whether it is in any way different or new or special from any earlier adaptations. Waterstones exclusive edition with sprayed edge and map inside printing. These are 2 little perks that I would like to see with my own eyes. Although I'm not sure if it is going to be available all around the world, since they are saying that this is Waterstones exclusive. I hope I will at least be able to get it via the internet. They say, continuing the story began in The Hobbit, it is the first part of Tolkien's epic masterpiece, The Lord of the Rings, featuring a striking black cover based on Tolkien's own design, as I said, the definitive text, and a detailed map of Middle-earth. Sauron the Dark Lord has gathered to him all the Rings of Power, the means by which he intends to rule Middle-earth. All he lacks in his plans for dominion is the one ring, the ring that rules them all, which has fallen into the hands of the Hobbit, Bilbo Baggins. In a sleepy village in the Shire, young Frodo Baggins finds himself faced with an immense task, as his elderly cousin Bilbo entrusts the ring to his care. Frodo must leave his home and make a perilous journey across Middle-earth to the Cracks of Doom, there to destroy the ring and foil the Dark Lord in his evil purpose. Now published again in B format, J.R.R. Tolkien's great work of imaginative fiction has been labelled both a heroic romance and a classic fantasy fiction. By turns, comic and homely, epic and diabolic, the narrative moves through countless changes of scene and character in an imaginary world which is totally convincing in its detail. Alright, my dear friends, shall we look at the two towers? I am sure it says the same thing, but I want to see if there is some extra new image there. No, it's all the same. So if you want to get some new The Lord of the Rings edition, my friends, well, make sure you get something like this. And lucky you people who live near a Waterstones, you don't have to hunt for these beautiful, gorgeous editions on the internet. You just go to a bookshop and get it. But beware, it's not published yet. You can pre-order it. It will be officially published September the 1st, 2022. Now, let us just check out, because why not, and compare these glorious editions with some other editions that have been announced quite recently. Of course, these are the editions that I recommend you to get. This very high quality, newly published hardback with a slipcover, and it's quarter bound in leather. I still need to get this one. You can get the collected edition of The Lord of the Rings with a proper cover. I've always loved this red color over there. You can get the individual editions of The Lord of the Rings, both normal editions and the Waterstones exclusive, which we just looked at, and that I appreciate very much. You can get the color illustrated edition of The Hobbit for those of you who enjoy illustrations. Oh, this cover is beautiful with Smaug on it. And of course, really, one of the only good adaptations out there, The Hobbit graphic novel, adapted by Chuck Dixon and David Wenzel. I always recommend this graphic novel because it is word-to-word adaptation from Tolkien's The Hobbit, and there and back again. No, well, that was a mouthful for my poor Czech mouth. I have an interview with the author of this adaptation, Chuck Dixon, on my channel. Feel free to check it out. I shall put a link in the description down below, as well as my own review of this particular graphic novel, which you should check out as well if you feel like buying this particular adaptation. So once again, I'm saying, forget about Amazon, forget about The Rings of Power and Prime Video. Get that which is worth it. Get The Lord of the Rings, get The Hobbit, get the graphic novel of The Hobbit written by Chuck Dixon. Do not get these! No, it is forbidden! See, these are the covers that I was talking about. Galadriel in her Xena the Warrior Princess outfit, Elrond and him being strangely weirdly young, even though thousands of years means nothing for an elf, and Amazon's original character, who, according to leaks, should be Galadriel's original character brother, and a fallen elf. Oh yes, working for the Dark Lord himself. This is abhorrent, of course, abhorrent indeed. And this is something worthy. This is something that we should all be looking forward to, my friends. The Silmarillion will come out in 2 new exclusive editions, my dear friends, in both hardback editions. But this one will go very nicely with your leather-bound The Lord of the Rings, and this one will go nicely with your the latest published hardback of The Lord of the Rings, which is not bound in leather, nor does it contain a slip box, but I do have this particular version, and it is glorious. Let me tell you, it is absolutely beautiful, my friends. So, once again, books to get are not those with the Amazon cover. Let me know in the comments down below if you're going to get the Waterstones exclusive covers, or indeed if you're going to get the new edition of the Silmarillion, because I Most certainly will. And that will be all for today. Thank you very much for watching, and namarie.